What's up, y'all? We're back in the shop. We're taking more pointless emission stuff off the Powerstroke. Today, it's going to be the CCV filter. So the CCV filter is your crankcase ventilation filter. What that does is it allows pressure built up inside your valve covers to get recirculated back into the engine. That's going to cause a whole boatload of issues with gaskets, seals, oil leaks. So what we did is I went and got this CCV delete kit from SPELAB. This is what the kit is. This is going to make a whole lot more sense once I get that box off of there, but it's tucked back and away over by the firewall, so you're going to have to see that after I take it off. But before we jump into it, what you get, this is their internal catch can. This goes down into the valve cover, catches the oil, allows it to collect and then not go up and out of the hose. We've got a couple other pieces, a block off plate. They do supply this big piece of hose. Just so you know, if you're going to install this from them, the way that you do this is you just route this hose down up underneath the pickup and go on your merry way driving. I'm going to do it a little different. I don't want the fumes, really, is kind of what this comes down to. My wife drives this, gonna have her daughter in it. So what I did is I went and got, this is just a hose barb adapter. Normal, you can get it from Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever hardware store. And as soon as we finish this install, then I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna go to an exhaust shop, have them drill a hole and then weld this barb like a bung would be. Weld that into the exhaust pipe, and then we're going to route this hose that's going to come off this new delete kit right into there. No fumes, right into the exhaust, burn it all off, not have to worry about shit. So first thing we have to do is I got to take off the fuel filter that's inside of the engine bay. You guys have probably done this yourself. If you haven't, I'll put a video up that includes how to change your own fuel filters. If you're going to the dealership for that, stop. Just do this shit yourself. So we're gonna get that fuel filter out. From there, just gonna need a 1/4-inch wrench, a couple extensions, a wobble socket, a 10mm, and then that's gonna get the 4 10mm bolts out that hold the CCV onto the engine, right? When that's out, then I'm gonna show you where those bolts are. Trying to show you right now, y'all are gonna see me with the extensions and whatever. It's gonna make a whole lot more sense whenever I get the whole damn box out of there. So first things first, we're gonna get the fuel filter out. All right, so this is the in-bay fuel filter and the engine bay fuel filter. Be careful with these clips. Some people have broken them. This first one, you're just gonna lift. Make sure that's up, okay. You are gonna want a towel because it is gonna spit some diesel out. All right, so with the orange one, you're gonna lift this up and then you're gonna pinch on the sides and then you're just gonna pull it back. Hot damn, we didn't lose any fuel. Wow. All right, next one. This blue one. Pretty much same deal. It's got a little locking mechanism. Trying to do this so y'all can see it if you haven't done it before. One-handed. There you go. Look at that. Same thing. This one you don't have to squeeze. You just pull this one off. Okay, get that one out of the way. Then this is the last one. Basically, same concept, but Ford used 3 different clips for all 3 of these. So pinch these red ones in, push it down all the way, clear that. It comes right off. All right, just trying not to make a mess in here. All right, so now what you can do, give this a wiggle. All right. So you can either set this to the side, or if you bought a replacement kit, now's a good time to just change your fuel filters. All right, so we're going to start with the easiest one. This is a 10 millimeter that is right behind where the fuel filter was. Okay. All right, after you crack that front one loose, just get a deep 10 millimeter. It's gonna be way easier than trying to mess with anything else. It's really all you've got. Next one, you can probably take the wobble off. That one's going to be right over here down on the side. I don't know if we can get the camera down and in there. Okay. 10 millimeter there. All right, so now is when you're going to need all these extensions, because these are way the hell back there. I'll measure these out so you guys know exactly how long you need, but this little kit, pretty useful. A whole bunch of 1/4 inch extensions. All right, these are the last two. All right, so when you bring this off, you are going to have to lift it pretty firm because it is down into that valve cover. Good Lord, it's hot out here. Okay, so like I said, I hadn't seen one like this, but I'm just going to peel this off and get this rubber, and I'm betting... Oh, well, that's why I hadn't seen it. Everybody else takes that off first before they show it in the damn video. Oh, shit. Okay, we're good. All right. Whatever. Well, that's why I'm helping y'all. Nobody else tells you that that's what's holding these damn things on. So with this, there's going to be 3. You're just going to take your flathead, you're going to pry them up. Again, this stuff is going to be a lot easier for y'all to see after I get this damn thing off. All right, so y'all see what I'm prying back here? You're just going to need a smaller flathead. That's one. And break these damn things off is what I need to do because it's not staying back. All right, that's one. Bent. That's not going to be a problem. Come on, damn it. All right, there's the second one. All right. That one's bent. One more. Oh, you know what? There's your tip of the day. It only takes 2 and this damn thing comes undone. All right. Good Lord. Here we go. So snake this back out and through. Watch out for your fuel filter connection lines. All right. Now it's lesson time. I'll show y'all what this was. All right. If this is where the firewall is, this is how it sits. This is the hose that goes back to the intake manifold. First bolt, your fuel filter sits right here. That's where the first 10 millimeter is. This one over off to the side, I think your fuel rails are there. And then you got 2 back here. Now, pull these things out. You can see the oil dripping. It's not serviceable. It just has internal baffles, oil everywhere, pressure builds up. We're not going back to stock around here. Look at this shit. Oil all over the cap. What is this? What is that? All right, so I got all this off. Now you can see there's a whole lot more room here. Look at the oil that's pulling up right here. We did start to notice a couple drops every morning before we'd come back out to drive the truck, and I don't know exactly where it's coming from, but the CCV, I'm pretty damn sure, was the culprit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. Then I'm going to go through the different parts. We're going to install it onto here. That was like the most difficult of all of this. So really the most difficult part is getting that damn hose from the CCV off the intake manifold. So I'm going to hit this with some paper towels, get this cleaned up, then we'll start putting the SPELAB parts on. All right, so the first thing we're putting back on is like this block off plate. Some people use oil. I like O-ring lubricant. Just get a little pinch of it. I'll put some of this down in the description if you guys don't have it. Makes a really, really good seal. So from there, install this one on. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna bolt, and just realized I need my hex keys. Give me a second. All right, so I was wrong about all the tools you're gonna need. You're also gonna need hex keys. I forgot that the hardware that SPELAB sends you is hex and not regular bolts. So you can take this, you're gonna see, can't put it on wrong. There we go. Okay, so even though we have all this room, I could not really film getting this this bolt down and into the valve cover. Either way, this is what it looks like. You're just plugging this with this block off plate and bolting that down and in there. Make sure it's snug and tight. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put together the 90 degree that's gonna come off of that exit out the back.
Shop dog helping out.
Helping. All right, so now we're going to assemble the piece that's going to come off the valve cover. Again, put some O-ring lube on there. Take this plate. Snug and tight. Get another bigger one. Same thing. Press that down and in. Okay, so this one's good to go. What we are going to do, this right here, this piece is what's going to go into the valve cover. You're going to do it to where these holes are facing up, basically. So from there, that's when everything else is going to start connecting. I have that. Got another O-ring, so let me put this one there. And assemble this whole deal for y'all. Press this one down and in. Okay, all right. So this is how everything's going to go together. Take this piece, it's going to fit right on top. And then from there, so you got O-ring gasket. And then this one's going to come up over the top. From here, this is the 90 degree that the hose is going to slip onto. And when everything is all on and in, this is how it's going to fit onto the valve cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble all this so we can drop it all in, all together, attach the hose. That way when we're screwing down the bolts, after that all we have to do is route the pipe and then we're done, other than going to the exhaust shop if y'all decide to do that. Otherwise, like I said, you can just run it down up underneath. All right, so what we're going to do first, we're going to take this internal catch can and we're just going to drop this into the valve cover, and we're going to get everything else ready to assemble onto it. So it's real simple, already cleaned up all around the top. All right. Here's what we got. The internal catch can, it's already installed into the valve cover. This is kind of an optional deal. SPELAB says that if you use all three of these parts together, it's gonna keep 95% of the oil from escaping, right? So you've got the internal catch can. They call this their CCV. This one's gonna sit right on top of it. And then this is the piece that has the 90-degree on it that we're gonna have the hose hooked up to, that's then gonna exit and route out to. You totally can leave this off, especially if you're doing this, what we're doing, running it to the exhaust. Doesn't really matter. By what they say, it's about 5% difference in oil. Who the hell really knows? Regardless, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the hose on now, because it's gonna be a whole lot easier to do that and then route it out, as opposed to getting this whole thing installed and then trying to put a super tight hose onto this barb. So, and I've got this hose clamp on there because that is what's going to attach to that barb fitting whenever it goes to the exhaust. This one, we're just going to use a zip tie. All right, so that's all the way on there. I'll do a zip tie on there afterwards. Either way, put their CCV on. These. That's one. We got two. Okay. That is how it's going to install onto there. I'm just feeding this down out of the way, trying to. All right. All right. So it's pretty tight if you've got decently big hands, so shit. All right, change of plans. Those two bolts are pretty damn tough to get to. I don't know how the hell you get it with that big old block piece on there. And also am not really too sure how you get it with the 90-degree attached. I took the 90-degree off, installed the plate with the AN fitting adapter onto it that matches into this, bolted that into the valve cover. Now this AN fitting is just going to go right on top, tighten it down. The hose is already fed down, and that's it. But half that crap I just told y'all, cut it out of there and just do it this way. Put the internal catch can on, put the adapter plate that's got the AN fitting, just run those two. Unless you can figure out an easier way. I'm out here, I've sweat half a gallon all over my shirt and cussed this bowl 82 times. So you do it this way, you're gonna have your CCV delete kit on and you're gonna be happy, and you're gonna have probably way less tools thrown across the yard. And this piece just installs really easily right onto that AN fitting. I'll hit the zip tie on here just so that we know for sure, but pressure isn't so much that it would blow this hose off of there. So I'm just going to tighten this on here. Okay, you can get a zip tie, and that back there you can see that's your finished product. Let me get something to point. What the hell do we have? Here we go. Let's use this. Silver is your internal catch can. This is your adapter plate. This right here is your AN fitting. And then you've got your 90 degree. That 90 degree comes over to the hose. Super simple. I say that, but I just damn near about threw half my toolbox across the yard. But this setup is exactly how I would suggest doing it. So now, zip tie, most versatile damn tool in the garage. Okay, snips. Look at that. Install clean as hell. All right. So now that that's done, last thing you got to do is hook back up your fuel filter. All right.
Trying to not hit a dog.
They're like landmines in the shop. I come off of a stool and had no idea they were there. Okay, all the way back. Tilt it. Okay. Orange, blue, red. Okay, well, the blue one's right here. So, hey, Ford engineers, you guys think you could have given us something a little bit more bendable? Okay. Push it all the way on, lock it. All the way on, lock it. Where's the orange one? Here we go. Make sure it's pulled back. All the way on. Hear the click? Lock it. So the other thing the kit comes with is like this rubber cap. This is going to cover up the parts of the intake manifold that the hose went back to. She's going to put that right on there. So I got this piece over the part of the intake manifold. All right, so now we're going to cut the zip tie. Okay. What in the hell is going on here? Amy, drop the damn zip tie. Now the trick with this, before you start the truck back up, cycle the key a few times with your foot off the brake if you've got the button. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you hit the regular key. Cycle it, get the fuel all the way in. One thing I forgot to mention, let me go get this damn thing. Apparently, on the top of this sticker on your CCV, you need to take a photo of it. A couple guys have said that this is, if you were to get new injectors, hold on, leave a ball. If you're going to get new injectors, something about the firing order. Every single person that I've seen do this gets diesel all over it. They can't see them. So whatever, you don't need to keep this. It's just going to be an oily mess. And we don't put stuff back to stock. So just wanted to mention that. One other thing I need to show you. Extensions. Now I told you guys I was going to tell you how long of extensions you need. With the 10 mil and the swivel, about 21 and a half, it's perfect. All right, so that's the end of the install. You can leave it exactly like this, or you can do what we're gonna do and go to the exhaust shop. That's gonna be the next part of this video. So you've got the block off plate installed. You've got the internal catch can, the plate, the AN fitting, the 90, the hose. We've got the cap for the intake manifold, and then we put the fuel filter back on. So otherwise, that's it. It's a pretty straightforward install. I wouldn't use that block. Obviously, I didn't. So at this point, hit like if you don't want your CP4 to blow up, and we're gonna go get this hose routed over to the exhaust. All right. All right, y'all, install's finished up. Everything's done, buttoned up. I'm really happy with the kit. One thing I do have to say, beginning of the video, I showed y'all the hose barb that I was gonna use. Well, you can't use that one. It's made out of brass. I got it from Home Depot. They sell the same one at Lowe's, whatever. You need one that's stainless. So found this on Amazon. I'm gonna put a link in the description for those of you that decide you wanna route this thing to the exhaust instead of just leaving it underneath the truck. With that said, let's crawl down under here and show you this finished install. All right. So you got the bung welded there. I tucked everything back behind the transmission pan. I do have plans to replace this, and I didn't want that to be an issue, so that's back behind it. Got it going over here, side of the trans up, and then to the SPELAB kit 90 that drops down. Okay, so I hope the install helped you guys. If it did, drop me a like and subscribe to the channel. It's free, helps me out a ton. YouTube doesn't charge you for your subscriptions, and there's gonna be plenty more Powerstroke content coming. I've got a lot more parts that I'm gonna be installing on this, giving you guys some how-tos. So thanks so much for watching. Appreciate y'all.